Welcome back. Brian Keeler here. I'm resuming a painting that I started about a year ago in Stonington, Maine, and it's of the town. And I'm going to show you a study that I did. And if you'd come on in here, and I'll show you this. This is a plein air study. So part of the thing that I'm showing you here today is how these plein air studies get transformed into studio pieces, and the studies are invaluable because it shows me the scene and I get to experience it firsthand. And I've made some significant changes from this study here. This is an 18 by 20 oil on linen. I'm going to set this down here, and the time of day is a little bit later in this painting, and so the lights changed, and I've included a little bit more. The other one was kind of a cropped view of just this chunk, and now I've expanded it so I have the sky, and the eye levels changed. I think in the other one the eye level was down, and I moved the eye level up here, and I've put in some clouds. And today I'm just finishing up, sort of going around and working over various areas, trying to bring it to a resolution. And so if you come on in, and I'll show you a few things that I'm doing. When we're doing paintings with light, we have to keep where the light's coming from, and in this instance it was sort of like about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was coming down in this direction, so all these planes here have varying degrees of light. And one of the things I'm doing here now is kind of softening the edges on these shingles of the roof, and also lightening it. So I'm softening and lightening with a kind of a dry brush, just going over that there right now. Okay, so what I was doing when you first saw me here was working around these windows, defining them a little bit. I was lightening them up, the borders around the windows here, and trying to unify the thickness a little bit. This is not a mechanical drawing, so everything doesn't have to be exact, but I wanted to get these a little bit closer to together here. The green that I'm using here, the blue, is kind of a blue-green as opposed to a purple green, but I do have some of that in here in spots. And the color here also has a little bit of gold in it, and I'm going to do that. So if you'd come over to my palette here now, I'm going to endeavor to warm up this blue by interjecting a little bit of Naples yellow in here. So you can see that here right now. And I have a couple of photos too that I'm looking at to assist me. So what I'm doing here right now is warming up this blue, and the reason I'm warming it up is because the golden grass down here was reflecting light back up into the blue, making it slightly warmer in this area. I'm going to go back over and do the grass again. But right now I'm warming it up slightly. I have this maul stick here. I'm not using it right now, but I have used a maul stick, and that's what this device is here. And I would use that when I was if I wanted to steady my hand a little bit in certain areas. So I'm doing a couple of things. I'm softening edges, and I'm warming it, and I'm lightening in it, making it lighter. It's a hard word to say, lighting in it. So I'm lightening values, and it also goes up into this area too, because the angle of the tops of the windows is slightly tilted down, and it makes it tilted down towards the ground, which is where the warm kind of golden ochre, and it's the same thing here in this area. So it makes for sort of subtle nuances of shifts in temperature. And this area right there too. And maybe I'll interject a little bit up in here too. It kind of moves around. It depends on the angle or tilt of the wood. So I kind of like that variation, these subtle variations of color and tint. Okay, but now I'm going to move to this tree here. Do a little bit of work on this tree, and what I'm going to do is define the form and lighten the form. So if you move over here to my palette again, I'm going to mix up what I think is going to be the right color, starting with some Naples yellow, and then over here I have some various greens, chromium oxide greens, that last one that I put in here. And this brush that I'm using is a filbert, a number 4 filbert, and I'm going to put a little bit of burnt umber, that's what that color is there, and I'm going to see, I'm going to test the color here first, and that's a little too green and not light enough, so I'm going to lighten it up with some more of the Naples yellow. Let's test it out again here. It's a little closer to what I want. One of the nice things about this tree is it's a dark value compared to the background, so I don't want to go too much lighter. I just want to add a few accents to to indicate the light direction and form. This is kind of a ambitious endeavor here, so I'm just going to suggest what I'm doing. So part of the thing is I'm trying to add to the quality of light and the sculptural quality of the tree. Part of the thing with trees is in the foliage is sort of organizing it so it's just not random detail, and it's sort of similar to clouds, where we want to organize these patterns of light and dark in here. So each area has its sort of inherent compositional things that are going on. Keeping the figure ground and light direction in mind as I do it. Right here is a good point if you come in close here. I want to accentuate the fact that the tree is a lighter value than the chimney behind it, so this is a good place for this. So I'm always thinking of figure-ground relationship, which means light against dark. And the same right here, this sort of part of the foliage is defined by the fact that it's darker out there. I think you're getting the idea that what I'm doing is endeavoring to bring out the form while accentuating the value contrast somewhat. Sometimes we want to soften those, but right here this tree comes down and is defined by the fact that it's light against the darker value of the roof and the window behind it. Sometimes we want to lose edges, make them softer and more diffuse, but right now I'm endeavoring to define them and make them crisper. So edges are very important in any realistic painting. And it's coming along just about how I would like it to be. I've used a raw sienna tint on this painting, and you can see it coming through in certain places, and that's okay. It adds to the sort of warmth of the whole painting. And the paint's going on sort of dry, in other words, without hardly any solvent, and it's sort of like pastel. People say my paintings look like pastel, and I'm applying the paint very much like I would with a pastel. That's what I first started to paint with, to use way back in the BC era, and so I guess it has an effect on the final look of my paintings here. This color that I'm going over has a lot of the raw sienna color coming through. It gives it kind of a golden yellowish tint underneath here. Okay, so that's coming pretty much like I want it there. I'm going to move to just one other area before I conclude here. I'm going to move to these parts of the water here, and I have some just pure white on my brush here, and I'm going to a little bit of Naples yellow in there. I can see the warmth of it, and I'm just sort of restating what I've already done here in the water. I'm going to go back and get some a little bit of blue on my brush here. These lines, these sort of where the light is catching the water, I'm making them all horizontal, and it sort of augments the perspective of these layers going back, and they're further sort of echoed by the clouds going back in the same scheme. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm going to put a little more blue on my brush. And that's just about what I was looking for here. So if you come in close, you can see that I'm lightening this one island or mountain in the background here to further soften and lighten it, to make it recede in space. It's called sfumato, the effects of atmosphere on objects, the smoky quality of air. Right now I'm going to soften that last edge there. I'm going to bring this over here. It's a continuation of this mountain here. Okay, I think that's about all I'll do here for today. So as I said in the beginning, what I was endeavoring to do is to show you how plein air paintings get transformed into studio paintings, and I take that initial inspiration and apply it to what I'm doing here, but they become a little more worked out, and the composition's a little more thoughtful and organized, perhaps. So this is my oil. It's a 36 by 40 Stonington, Maine. Thanks so much for your attention.